We're live. Hey guys. Hey Ozzy. Hey Bella. Welcome to the We Got Questions podcast, you guys. I appreciate you guys for popping in. I'm just gonna give everybody a few minutes to come in because I'm sure there's a couple more people who are headed over. Thank you for coming over tonight. My co-host Mike is not with me, so if anybody actually wants to pop in, let me know and I can bring you guys up on the screen. Is it much clearer this time? I'm actually doing it from my iPad tonight. So we're trying something new. It was on my phone last week, but I thought let's try it on the iPad and see how things go. Tonight's topic is submissiveness in relationships. So we're going to explore how everybody feels about that. I'm just waiting for everybody to pop in because right now I think it's just you, Azzy, you and Bella. Let me see here. I'm gonna actually get some background music going too. That's a little louder. Let's turn this down a little bit. What are you talking about, Ozzy? Oh, I'm about to put your comments up so everybody can see you. Everyone can see you now. You see this? Let's get a little banner going too. It's so weird to look at everything. Here we go. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. When you guys come in, just say hello so that I know you're here and we can get started. I don't want anybody to miss out on anything, but we're going to talk about submissiveness in relationships and what that means to you. And then, of course, we all know that there's different variations of submissiveness. So we're going to go through all of the ranges. We're going to talk about what it means to you personally, and then exploring it in more of a, let's see, everyday black and white relationship way, and then also what it might mean in a sexual relationship as well, because people take on different roles and they might not be submissive in their everyday roles, but when it comes to on a more sexual manner, they do like to be submissive. Yeah, we're gonna follow that. Hold on a second. Can we post comments and destinations? Let's see. Can you guys hear the background music good? Just want to make sure everything's good. Mike will be popping in every once in a while to talk to us and see how everything's going. He is currently a little busy, so he probably won't be here very often, but he did say he's going to stop in and say hello and just talk. How many people do we have right now? Just Ozzy and Bella? Well, let's get started anyways. So for me, personally, I'll start with my own personal opinions about submissiveness, because we all know that it can mean different things to different people. And I think it's kind of changed over time with what traditional roles and relationships are. I do for a fact know that, like, for me, I am a person who prefers to be the more submissive person in my relationship. I would optimally love for my partner to lead, but I do think that there are stipulations that have to go with that. You know what I mean? Like, I can't let you lead unless I trust you. And that's a huge thing. Like, being able to build that kind of trust with someone, especially when I'm a person who makes all the decisions in my life on a regular, everyday basis. To be able to give over that power to someone else and to say that I trust you to be the leader in my relationships, it takes a certain amount of trust. But I also feel like there has to be parameters in it. Like, I also have to know that you trust me to be a backup when you need it. Or that also, you can come in with Kim. Hold on, let me invite you in. Let's see here. How should I send this to you? Give me a second, Oz. Trying to see if I can send it to you in a private message. Not I can ban a user. Hold on, y'all. This is a private chat. I'm gonna send it to you guys. Okay, guys, you follow that link and then you can come in. So, like I was saying, it does allow, you do have to have a certain amount of trust. You also have to do that your partner trusts you as well. And I think it takes a lot to get to that place, especially for me personally. Like, it takes a lot for me to get to a point where I'm willing to trust someone, where I'm willing to be. Hey, Kai, thank you for joining. So crazy. Kai, if you want to pop into, we're talking about submissiveness in relationships and what it means to you. And also, I'd be interested if men are willing to be the submissive partner in a relationship, because I feel like gender roles have changed so much lately. So, Kai, if you see where I have the little, hold on, I think I got a guess. Oh, it's Ozzy. Are you going to cam up, Oz? I can hear you. Are you turning your cam on, or do I have to turn it? You can't hear me?
I don't know how to fix this.
I can hear you. Uh-oh. We'll bring it back in a second. But if you want to come in, Kai, right. I think, so here's the thing with Bella. I feel like because I'm so in control, like in my everyday life, I don't want to be, I don't want to be in control of my relationships. Like, I want to be with somebody that I feel comfortable. Hold on, Isaiah.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Good.
Are you coming on cam?
Yes, this is nice. I'm not decent. This is real nice.
Thank you.
I can't see no messages though. Boom, chat.
Okay.
Comments.
Are you coming on camera?
No, I'm not decent, sugar.
No, you're not decent. Okay. Kai, if you wanted to, if you see where I have in the comments the "We Got Questions" comment, I posted the link. You can come in. Bella and I were just talking about how she was saying she's submissive dependent upon who she's with. Bella, do you mean that like in an everyday relationship stance? Because I feel like I don't want to be the person who takes the lead in my relationships. I don't want to be. I do it every day. I feel like I need to feel like in my relationships that I can trust my partner to take the lead. And that doesn't mean that I don't have any say-so in anything, but I don't mind. I want to be able to trust someone to be able to know that they can make decisions that are important for us, or that I can trust. You know what I mean? Does that make sense, Oz? I mean, I'm a traditionalist when it comes to relationships. I like traditional setups of relationships. Oh, you got kind here? Mm-hmm. I like the traditional. I like the more traditional setup. But like, let me say this though. Let me say this because this is with parameters. I don't know if I can do everything. Is that bad?
What do you mean? Elaborate on that.
Like, I don't. This might sound horrible.
What's
Like, I can't wait on you hand and foot.
the...
I can't do. Oh, Malachi. I can't. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can. Maybe I could.
That did sound bad. That did sound terrible.
I know it sounds bad. I don't know. I think that there's a part of me that's gonna be like, okay, we have to do some limits. I feel like this though. I do know that I'm by nature I'm a nurturing person and I like to take care of people, and I don't doubt that I wouldn't mind taking care of my partner. I don't doubt that I wouldn't mind doing things for them and taking care of them. But I do feel like, I don't know, maybe it just depends on the nature of the relationship and how much I trust them. I just can't like, and maybe it's because I've been on my own for so long. I don't know if I can wait on anybody hand and foot. Like, I don't know if I could do that. I can take care of you.
The anti-submissive part, then like, how are you very submissive in a relationship, but you also don't want to be barefoot and pregnant?
Ooh, I'm too old to be barefoot and pregnant, eyes.
I'm just saying, some people might see it that way. You know what I'm saying? Very traditional, like.
Right. It's also, I think it's weird now for me because a lot of times when I think about submissiveness in relationships, I think about it in a family structure, and that's just not where my life is right now. Like, my daughter's 18, and so I'm not at a place where. Do you think
time might have played a part in it?
Definitely. I think had I been in a place where I would have thought,
I've been single so long that I don't want nobody in my house.
Listen, I struggle when I think about that. I struggle with the idea of being in a relationship with someone and us cohabitating. I really do. Part of me thinks, oh, it'd be so nice and so sweet to like have somebody and like be in. And then there's a part of me that's like, but like, he gotta come and bring his stuff in my house. And we gotta.
Oh, he gonna do more than bring stuff in your house. He gonna tell you the temperature of the house and when to cook.
Yeah. See, stuff. I don't know. What if I've ruined myself?
If I walk in the house and you cold and I'm hot, we turning the AC on, sis.
No, I think I'm speaking out of fear right now, just thinking about it. But I do think I wouldn't mind it. Like, when I love someone, I don't think that that's something that would necessarily bother me. I do think as long as we are able to respect each other and compromise on things, and I feel like I'm not giving my complete self over and not being able to have any part of me present in the relationship, I think that's the parts that scare me about the idea of being submissive to when a person lives in your home. Like, what is that? Does it take away from who you are? That's what I don't want.
I think it becomes part of who you are. Like, you're submissive to your guy or your man.
Right.
And that's one of the defining factors of the relationship.
Right. I think it always made more sense to me, though, when I thought about it in the context of in a family structure, it makes sense. But when it's just you and another person, you actually have to figure out how that works for the two of you. Like,
elaborate.
I need to know.
Like, what's the difference in leading the house with your child and leading the house with just you?
I think because now the leadership role takes a different sort of ownership. Like, you're making a decision for the both of us. You're making decisions that affect the both of us. Yes. But in my personal, like my perspective, oh, Bella's here. Hold on. But for me personally, as a single woman, and especially at the stage that I'm at, I still feel like I need to feel like, I don't know how to word it properly. I feel like I need to feel like I haven't given up all of who I am. Does that make sense?
No. Not even
Wow.
with
Not even Kai with the head. No, Kai. That doesn't.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because for men, that's backwards, right?
Mhm.
Like I say all the time, men are very logical creatures. So for you to say when it's just one of us, you could take complete control. But if it's a child involved, no. For you said basically like if it's a family, you can be submissive, and that's how you see a man being a leader. But if it's just you and him, then there's no need. If anything, the more people, the more I would see a problem. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but not that there's
Like
no
just me and
need.
you, yeah, do whatever you want, but you can't fuck up both our lives. You can fuck up my life. You can't fuck up me and this kid life.
Not that there's necessarily no need, but like I just need to. I need to define where I stand.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like there needs to be definitions. Or it has to be clear in my head. I don't want you to feel like you can do whatever.
It's giving real. Hit me across the head and throw me over your shoulder like a caveman.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you
It
prefer?
feels like.
Okay,
So I
here's my
got a
question for
question.
y'all. I got questions for
Okay.
y'all first. Hold on. I want to know what each of you prefer in relationships. Like, do you prefer for the men? Do you prefer to be the dominant person in the relationship? Do you need a woman who is submissive to you, or do you want, or does that even matter to you at all? Hey, Dash.
I don't think it matters to me. Like I think naturally because of my life, I take a dominant role.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I know that if I was put in a relationship where a woman was like, I can't help you and I won't be anything but submissive, that would get old real fast.
Mm,
Like if her plan was to come in, be a housewife and just cook,
right.
that'd be a short thing.
But don't you believe that women could be submissive, but also at the same time contribute to the household and contribute to decisions? You can do both.
I feel like it's a limit.
Hey Mel, what do you mean? Oh, so this is interesting. Hold on. I'm gonna come back to this, Ozzy. What about you, Kai? What do you need in relationships? Do you feel like you want to have a woman be submissive to you, or does it matter to you at all?
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
To be honest, I don't. It doesn't really matter all that much
Uh-huh.
to me. Like because personally, I feel like the person that takes the submissive role is the person that is supposed to, and
Okay.
you'll have that in mind as the relationship would go and transpire. So I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Because then you'll know like who is more fit for that role to make sure that everything is everything in the relationship. So I mean, honestly, like I'm not like that guy that's like, oh, like I'm the man, so I gotta go and no, like I don't have to do shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in regards to who I'm with though, like if they happen to, like, you know what I'm saying, be more knowledgeable of that, then
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind learning from them. So then
Right.
I can like go and better myself too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't care though, to be real.
What about you, Bella? How do you prefer to be? I know you were saying earlier that it just depends on who you're with. So what is your preference?
If I'm dealing with a man,
Mm-hmm.
I prefer to be submissive.
Okay.
I've had it both ways, where I was dominant with the male and where I've submissive with the male, and I prefer to be submissive. Just in my mind, I prefer to have, I'm kind of traditional too, so I prefer to have a male that makes decisions and is more decisive, because
Mm-hmm.
to me as a woman, I am more emotional, and like Ozzy was saying, I need that logic,
Okay.
right? And so I do better under the leadership of a male or a masculine energy.
Okay. All right. Oz, what were you saying before when I stopped you? You were saying something that was really interesting.
Fuck if I know.
Oh, you were talking about. I know what it was. You were saying that for a woman to be submissive, you didn't think that she could also be a person who contributed
Oh,
to.
yeah. So with what I was saying, what Kai said made a lot of sense. Like that's kind of how I feel about it. Like the person that's supposed to be submissive, if the relationship goes right, it's gonna play out the way it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want you to like come into a relationship like you met me and was like, I just felt like you was a dominant person and that's why I'm following you.
Right. But but when we were talking about, I was asking because you were saying if you're just in here and you just want to be submissive and I do everything, it gets kind of old. And so I was like, well, don't you think that a woman can still be submissive but still contribute to like the household and to decisions?
You want the truth,
saying
or
no.
you want what match this music?
No, I want you to tell me your truth.
So the truth, from what I've seen and what I've lived, I can give you power and authority and decision making, but at the same time, you realize that I just said I gave it to you. So it's me asking
Okay.
you, how do you feel in the decision that I'm going to make? But that still is my decision. If we're actually sharing authority, then it's not my decision. Like put it like an account. If it's my money, but I give you access to my account, I tell you what we're spending money on, even if I say, hey, how do you feel this? But if it's your money and my money, I can't just go one day and be like, I bought a new Tesla. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Kai, Mel wants to know, what were you listening for? What were you waiting? What were you waiting on?
Oh, I wasn't really waiting on shit though. I mean, like I was just curious as to the direction that Ozzy's about to go, and I'm in agreement.
So Mel, just so you know, the two white boxes, Ozzy's not ready to cam up, and Belle is not camming up either. So that's why they still have white boxes on. But it's okay. I appreciate them coming in anyways and talking to you.
Y'all don't want me up anyway. It's dark as hell here.
That's right, because you're on a totally different time zone. It's like
big difference.
1 a.m., right? Where you are?
Yes, it is.
So but here's the tricky thing. Like, I think I say that I like to be the submissive person in a relationship because I don't want to feel like, it's almost like in my relationships, I don't want to feel like I'm taking the lead. I have to take the lead and make decisions every day in my everyday life, right? I have to be the person who makes all the choices. I'm always taking responsibility for everything. I'm always taking the lead. In my relationships, I look for a man who is a leader and who can be decisive and who I can trust. Because for me being able to give away a little bit of that power and to let you make decisions for us has a lot to do with me trusting you. But I like men who are more dominant and who can make decisions. I have to be able to trust you though to make certain decisions before I can give you that sort of power in our relationship where I'm saying, I want you to lead us. If I'm saying that I want you to lead us, I have to trust you in a certain way. But I also feel like just in the type of men that I like to date, let's see here. If I have to take control, right? Mel, I feel the exact same way. Like if I have to be in control, it's like you feel like a child to me. Right, exactly, Mel. We don't want no more kids. If I want to control somebody, I got my 18-year-old here. I do not need to take care of somebody else. Like I don't want to have to take care of another person. I want a person that I can trust to lead us, but also understand that I contribute as well. I'm gonna always, because here's the thing. Let's say one day you should stumble or falter or something happens and you can't take care of us. You gotta know that I can have our back. Like I can step in and take the wheel if I need to. So if I'm being completely submissive and I'm not contributing anything, what happens if something happens to you? What happens if you can't provide?
Question is, when you are about to enter a relationship or thinking about it or whatever you want to say, do you feel like you're attracted to those people or you look for those? Like,
Both. I know that when I don't think I'm seeking out anything, but I do think that the people that normally I'm drawn to are people who seem like they have a dominant character. Like, I don't like passive energy for me.
All right, I have
not to say there's something wrong with passive
figure
energy, but just for me, I don't like passive
if you're
energy.
chasing it. Exactly, that's what I was about to ask. So one way to know if you're chasing it or if you're letting it happen is if you were to get into a relationship with somebody and you realize like, hey, they're not really a dominant person, would you end it? Would you say, hey, this isn't working, or would you think it would just naturally fizzle out?
Probably naturally would fizzle out. Because if I feel like I'm taking care of you, if I feel like, let's just say, for instance, I have a relationship with a friend of mine, and I feel like the thing that initially, we dated years ago, and initially when we dated, the thing that I loved about him was that he was so confident and in control, and I love that about him. Like, I love the fact that he seemed strong in character, and I trusted him. He had integrity, and he could, like, I felt like I could trust things with him, right? And over the years we've become friends, but his personality has shifted, and I feel like, to me, he gives very, not necessarily submissive, but weak energy. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like even in his own life, he can't control his own life. And I think because of that, it made him so much less attractive to me. Like, the things that I thought were attractive about him before, they don't exist anymore. Because it feels like he just seems so docile to me. And I don't want that. I don't like that.
I think it's important, though, to distinguish a docile person versus a person that's submissive. Because even in a relationship, a submissive person still contributes a big factor, even if they're underneath a dominant role. Okay. For instance, even if you do stay at home, maybe you do more than cook and clean. Maybe you handle the finances. Maybe you handle the kids. Maybe you set up his appointments. Maybe, he controls the schedule of the whole family. So I don't think that's passive or docile. That's still an important part of your relationship, because if you're not setting up appointments for your entrepreneurial partner, then the business may fail. So you still contribute. Somebody being docile and lazy doesn't necessarily mean that they're submissive. They're just lazy.
Ooh, that makes sense.
There's a difference.
That makes sense. So I guess for me then, it's how we define submissiveness. Like, how do you guys define, like, what would it take for you to, when you think of a submissive partner, what does that mean to you? Like, do they do everything for you? Are they in charge of, like, like, what is the submissive? Because some people would say that just because I cook and clean and take care of the kids, that doesn't mean that I'm being submissive. Like, I don't want to be thought of as a submissive partner. That's just what my role is. So how do you define submissiveness?
Bella.
Am I the definition, or are you asking me to define it?
Is Bella the definition? He's like, I define it.
I was asking you to define it. I'm not Bella the submissive thing. Oh my God.
That's funny. A submissive is a person that, let me think of it in, regular terms. Give me a couple minutes.
See, I think traditionally the submissive partner was the person who stayed home, take care of the kids, maybe like didn't necessarily have a job unless their job was like homemaker. And then they took care of the day-to-day things for their partner, right? So when it came to taking care of the household things and making sure things were done or making sure food was on the table, and then the dominant partner was the person who was working and taking care of the finances. But is that necessarily what it means to us now?
I think I think it's defined by the people in the relationship, like most things in relationships. I think it's also a thing that can be defined differently, like if you see things traditional versus if you're not a traditional relationship. Because I think traditionally, and honestly speaking, traditionally, it did always come down to finances, because usually the person that makes the money decides what to do with the house.
Right.
Whether that's good or bad, it's just the way the cookie used to crumble. I don't know if it's still that way. But money does define a lot about who's the leader. Um, because at the end of the day, without the money, a lot of decisions can't be made. Like we can't decide on dinner without the money for the dinner. You know what I mean? We can't decide what to do in the house without the money for the house.
Right.
So traditionally, I think that's how we defined it, and I kind of still do. Um, so basically, the way I see submissive is just not the leader. I would say a supportive role. I think if you're not supporting, you can't even call yourself submissive. I would call that, I guess, a leech or something.
Right.
So it's naturally the supporting role. Like, granted, the submissive role can step in, can take lead sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because we've seen a lot of relationships where I'm from, where the submissive partner often, when the tables are like, if we're at a social event, the submissive partner is the person that does the speaking. It's the person that's the one running the show.
Right.
And then the dominant partner is just the face of the house.
Mm-hmm. So this is why I asked this. I know specifically of a relationship right now. I'll just say with my mother and my father. My mother has not worked since she had me, right? My father is the person who works and he takes care of brings in the money. But if you were to ask about what people might think when they see the roles, my mother is probably the dominating character in the relationship. So while she was the person who took care of the kids, took care of the household, didn't work, she played that, that's what you would think would be more traditionally the submissive role, but that was not the way that it played out. My mom made a lot of the decisions for our household, even though she wasn't the person bringing in the money. She made
the boss of the house.
Yes,
But that's what I was saying. A lot of relationships, especially in ethnic communities, the woman, especially, I would say, that's my mother's generation, but definitely my grandmother's generation. Black women are very outspoken, have always been for generations. So they're making a lot of decisions. Like, yeah, you make the money, but I made this house, I decorated the house, I picked. Like, the man literally just like, the money's here, do what we got to do with the house.
Right.
So
I think the reason why it's hard for me is because, and it may even have to do with the paradox of like the way my family structure was, and the fact that my mother was the dominant person in the relationship, even though she wasn't the breadwinner. Especially for me now, as being a woman who takes care of everything herself, right? When I think about my relationships, I think about, yes, I want my partner to be the leader. I want to be able to trust him, but I do, to some extent, want him to consider me because I am capable of taking care of myself. So it's not necessary, like when it comes to decisions, I think I would want you to at least consider, like, because I'm giving you, if I'm trusting you with this decision, I also have to know that you're taking into consideration how I feel about certain decisions. And I don't want it to be like, I make the decisions, you just chill, you don't have no say. Like, that to me doesn't even compute. But I do feel like it works in some ways. For some
people. Do you
people.
feel like it might be a fear? Do you think if you ever actually met a man that was so dominant, because there's levels to it and people kind of just say, is you or is you ain't? If you met a man that was so dominant that you felt like he didn't give you that, do you think that's something that keeps you from saying you want to be in a relationship?
Yes.
Like that?
Yeah, I think that you have to find what level of dominance that you're okay with.
Right.
So to answer your question, for like a submissive, I think a submissive person is one that trusts someone to take a leadership role over them and will follow them. But
because submitting is offering it. It's not, it's not automatic. Like a submissive person isn't somebody that you have to offer. That submission is I give, not you take.
Right. And I think
That was
like
cute.
with my partner, even though he's very dominant, and if we can't make a decision, then he has the final say so. But my feelings and my thoughts are never not considered first. And so I have to trust that he will make the best decision for us concerning whatever I give him authority over, because he doesn't necessarily have authority over every single thing that I do, and never will, because like you, I'm used to taking care of stuff. So if we're not living in the same household, the two top things I always tell partners that they cannot have control over is my finances and my children, the way that I raise them. So you don't necessarily have to give someone complete authority over you, but you can say, hey, in these areas of my life, I'm comfortable giving you authority over. But these other things, those are me all the way. And you're still considered submissive.
Right. And I think that's what I would need. Like, I would need that. Like, I would need to have that kind of conversation with a person. Because while I do want to be able to trust you to make the decisions, because I just need that kind of energy. I need to feel like in my relationships that I don't have to run everything.
Right.
I even feel like I'm not, and this plays a lot into like how I am in the bedroom too. Like, I like to feel a loss of control. I want you to be in control. I crave that. I need that.
Amen to that.
Like, I need that. Like, I know that about myself. And I know it has a lot to do with who I am every day. Like, in my everyday life, I know, because that's the role that I play, and I'm always in control and I always take charge. My relief, my pleasure is found in you taking control of me. If I can submit myself to you and you make me want to submit myself to you, that's optimal for me.
Did I mention it's 1 a.m. here? Don't start.
Okay.
Don't start.
Okay. It didn't get spicy. It didn't get spicy. I'm just saying.
Look.
That's what
Look.
Okay.
I need to know the rules of YouTube. What can't you say on YouTube? Somebody gonna have to.
There's anything you. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of things that you can't say, because people can get like their content demonetized and all kinds of stuff when you say certain things that you're not supposed to say. So, keep it classy. We talk about a lot of things, but let's try to keep it clean. I gotta tell you, you specifically.
Wow, it's feeling real dominant right now. Don't choke me. No more.
What about you, Ash? Do you feel like because you are a dominant person, do you feel like in the bedroom you like the roles reversed?
I don't feel dominant.
What you mean you don't feel dominant? You don't feel like you run your...
I just wanted to say it.
I was going to say earlier, you said that you're a dominant person.
Right. You said that you're never submissive. Do you feel like you like the roles reversed?
Sometimes.
Honestly, I think I was bred by a single woman, and as a man raised by a woman, you'd be surprised how many characteristics you take from them. I think my mother's fear of giving up power is something that I share with her. So I think it's very hard for me to be submissive. I think I don't trust it. Most people, if you even hear me talk, you can kind of tell I have a fear of letting people too far, too close, all of that. I always feel like I'm gonna have to do it anyway. But yes, I am a firm believer that people who are submissive every day tend to want to give that up. A lot of powerful men, if you get into their minds, are attracted to submission because one is just different. A lot of people just like different shit. Like, I don't want to do what I'm doing every day.
Yeah.
I have a giant beef with when it comes to the relationships of the titles submissive and dominant, I think a lot of male people that claim to be dominant aren't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why the culture of talking about dominance when it comes to physical relationships has become such a hot topic, because so many women are searching for that. But because we're in the world of social media, you kind of got to take people at what they tell you before you know them. So it's become very attractive to hear a person is dominant. But I truly feel like people that are dominant in their everyday life don't walk around saying, I need submissive people, because certain presence equal certain other presence. Like the men that are actually dominant, usually women become submissive to without them having to say so.
Right, naturally.
I feel like if a woman has to say I'm submissive before you can approach her, then you're not really dominant. I feel like dominant men don't wear it on their sleeve, because also a dominant person in their everyday life, you saw it when they stepped up. Like if you spend any time with a person that's dominant at their job or dominant in their house or all that stuff, you saw it very early. Like they didn't need to tell you. So if a man ever tells you I'm dominant, chances are it's only when he's in this space.
Mm.
So
That makes sense. I do feel like a lot of times when I found myself playing a more submissive role, it was never something that was like thought about. It just happened naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Like from the energy of my partner, from whatever trust I built with my partner, from their energy. Like me, look who's here. Hi, Mike.
Maka,
Hey, Mike.
Maka who?
We miss you, of course.
Maka who? Big
but
Mike.
Yeah,
I came in because I was like, she gonna need people up here. I don't want her out here thugging on her own.
Right, and I appreciate
Somebody
yours.
gotta keep it classy and nasty for you, Mike. I got you, brother.
Oh wow, we do know Mike likes to keep things both classy and occasionally nasty.
Hey,
He will
look,
pop up.
my man might be like, listen to this love song. All right, who like it in their butt? Whoa, Mike.
Wow.
Whoa.
How did we get here?
That was my impression of Mike. That was my impression of Mike. That wasn't me. That was my mic.
Never fails. Mike will take it. Mike will go so quick. Like we will be talking.
My man Mike. I love that
Mike
about
will
him.
come
Though.
back
Mike be waiting.
Mike
be like, y'all ain't spicy yet? Y'all ain't feeling spicy yet? Mike be like, is it a little horny in here?
He'll be like, hey, I got a question for y'all. And whenever Mike says I have a question for y'all, just know it's gonna be wild. Just know it's not gonna be like a regular PC. Mike's questions are not the PC questions. And so yeah, Mike will always turn it on his head.
You leave that for when you in other people's podcasts, but when you in your own podcast, ask them to say some nasty shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like your snap. If it's my snap, I'm gonna say, hey, bust it open. Now, if it's your snap, hey, that's a very nice picture you posted. You come on my snap though, bust it open.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if you want it, you gotta ask for it. That's the golden rule.
Well, Kai, let's not. What is this thing that you and him do, where when he's talking crazy shit, you're just like, true, yes,
wow,
sounds good.
But y'all swear y'all want black men to get along better, and then as soon as we do,
yes, Kai, yes.
What's this? Not Malachi.
You do not have to clear your throat 3 times.
I did though. Yeah,
he did it 3.
So like, if I'm like nodding my head, right, and like I make hand gestures, like, you know what I mean, like, then that would indicate that I don't think it's crazy shit, Raquel.
But it's always when he's talking wild and reckless.
No, it's not.
Always.
But see, like, lots of times when shit is interpreted as wild and reckless, though, the only way that somebody would have in mind is if they could actually relate.
Don't start. let's just get
Fancy
back.
tickled.
Let's get back
Fancy
to
tickled.
the topic, shall we? Let's go back to the topic, shall we?
We gotta be sneaky.
I used to say that if a man made me feel like I could run him, I'm gonna bulldoze him. And I never wanted that. You know what I mean? Like if a man makes me feel like
You
I
should
can
really
take-
not say that out loud no more. That is
Why
horrible.
not?
Oh, but it's true. I can agree.
What do you mean?
Okay.
Why not say that out loud?
And I like people to bust it open, but you can't just go around saying that.
Again.
You get what I'm saying?
Again, bring it in. Bring it in.
That's what I'm trying to tell you to do. I'm a bulldozer. I'm gonna knock his ass over. What? Wait a minute.
But that's how I feel. Like if you are telling me, if you present, that's why I don't want it. Because one, if you ask any of my partners, they're not gonna be like Raquel is. They will probably never say Raquel is super bossy and dominating. Okay, I'm not. I might pout. I might be a bit of a brat every once in a while, but I'm not pushy. But if you allow me to be pushy, I can be. I do that every day. I'm gonna run all over you. If you don't know how to wrangle me, I'm probably gonna run all over you.
I think that has to do too with trust. Like if I'm trusting you to take a leadership role, but I don't see you doing it, then I'm going to do it because someone has to. Not necessarily that I want to, but I will if I have to.
Yeah. What'd you hear?
We talking about trust, but you just said I'm gonna bulldoze you. It's the
But
irony
that's not
for me.
because like I'm not trying to take away your trust. I'm just saying if
I cannot.
I'm just saying
if
you seem like you're just too like you can't make any decisions. You are too soft on everything. You can't make any like you can't take control of a situation. I can't trust you to be like in control. If you allow me to be a pushover, not if you're gonna be a pushover, if you allow me to bulldoze you, because I'm a person who takes control in my everyday life, I might run you over, and I don't want that. I don't want that in my relationships. Yes, Kai.
Wow.
So,
Oh God.
Again, the throat clearing. Yes.
I just like from what I just heard you say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand it, right?
Okay.
And wait, is my camera frozen?
No, it's not frozen. Mm-mm.
Okay, good, because I just wanted to say,
Oh my God!
Why? Why are you? I can pick the two of you. I swear. I cannot.
Baby, welcome to the party.
Okay. Let's get let's
So
flip it.
I got a question before
Go ahead.
I'm gonna flip it and dip it and slap it.
Here we go. What's your question?
How often or how many times did you experience where you had gotten far enough with a person that you thought they was gonna be able to handle themselves, and then they turned into a bitch and you was like, all right, now I gotta take over?
Only once.
Because it seems
Only
like
one
it's
time.
happened.
It's happened once. It has. It's happened once because I think I didn't know enough about them maybe initially to really know what their energy was going to be. And we were still in the initial dating phase. And I remember thinking to myself, and this is going to sound so horrible. Every time I do this to myself, every time.
It always does.
right.
It never fails. I remember that there was a situation where he hadn't spoken to me. I was doing something, just like busy or something. And I remember him calling me in a very emotional, like the way he took it was very emotional. Like, I had to talk to you. Like, he was so mad. And it was almost like it was a little busy. And I was thinking to myself, this is the most feminine shit I've ever, like, that's why I'm saying it's horrible, because I immediately switched, like I immediately turned on the gender roles, but I thought, you cannot do this. You cannot let me, and it got down to, I was really telling him, I don't have no time for this. If you can't, like, it was the way I was talking to him, and it made me feel like I was putting him in his place. And it was like, it wasn't putting him in his place like, I'm telling you because you're not going to talk to me like this, or because like he deserved it. It was just like, it was, the energy
So
was
you had to
so
hit him with the, like,
weird.
man, stop being a little bitch, cuz.
I mean, kind of.
I got it. We get it.
was
We
just
understand.
like,
We get it.
The response to him not hearing from me was just very like, oh, well, why didn't you? It was, I don't know. It just didn't.
All I'm hearing is a man tried to love you and pay a bunch of attention, and you was like, ew.
You know what?
Too much.
I'm not even gonna lie. I was in a
That's
stage in my
crazy,
life at
sis.
that time where I didn't even want a relationship, and I think
Well, you threw that one away.
anything that felt too clingy, I pushed away. I'm not even good. I can't lie. I was in that phase of my life.
There's a woman begging for a nigga like that right now.
You're right. What's up, Kai?
What time does your show end?
At 8.
All right, I gotta run to the store real quick, but if I'm back in time, then I'm gonna slide back through.
Oh my gosh, bye, Kai.
Bye bye.
Bye, guy.
It's so crazy. So, I mean, I don't know. So here's another thing. I heard this girl today on Instagram. If I can find it, I'm going to play it for y'all. But she was talking about what her definition of submissiveness in her relationship was. And she said she cooks, she cleans, she irons his clothes. She thinks of everything ahead of time for him. She's like, I almost have to read his mind and like know what he wants and do it ahead of time. Like, I am completely submissive. I do everything for him. I take care of him. And in my head, that was slightly terrifying to me. I don't know why.
You're confusing me, sis. Which way you want it now?
I don't know
You
why.
don't know?
But here's also the crazy thing. I don't think that I'm completely incapable of doing some of those things, right? I feel like in relationships, I like to take care of my partner. I do. But there's something about hearing her say it. I've got to find it. There was something about hearing her say it that made me think.
So you
That's a
want him
lot.
to be able to do it, and you do it as like a gift.
I don't know why that sounds bad to me.
Or do you just feel like you don't want to be submissive completely?
It sounds like you want to run into a boss ass nigga and help him, but you don't want you don't want him to be a baby though. Like, hey,
Right.
bosses need meals. You're like, I'll cook for a boss ass nigga, and then this nigga over here like, I wish someone would cook for me. Like, ew, get away from me.
Oh, yes.
Right. I don't yes. You said it. You probably just hit the nail on the head. That's probably exactly what I'm saying.
It's all in the delivery.
That's
So
what I
true.
do. You know. I
I
hate
wish
it.
I can find it. Let's see my activity, my likes, because I liked the videos that I could. I don't know if I saved it, but I know I liked it. Or maybe I'm lying to y'all. Maybe I didn't.
But like what Ozzy said is true. It really is a difference between like, hey babe, I'm hungry, or babe, I'm hungry. Like there's a difference.
Like if you come in the house and be like, "Where's
Oh
my
my
boo,
God.
woman?" I'm gonna be like, "Ew."
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're gonna be like, oh, 10 minutes.
Wait, hold on. Dash has an interesting comment here. Part of being dominant is knowing when and where it's time to take backseat and let your partner lead. Dash,
It's so
couldn't
true.
be said
Come through,
better.
come through. Don't you know I got things
You couldn't
to
have said
do?
that better. I agree.
Don't you know we got things to do? What? Come through.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So when you see yourself as a submissive partner,
Mhm.
what things do you feel like you want to bring to the table?
I got 2 inches of hot dick.
So here are the things that I know about myself. Like, one, I know that I'm intelligent. I know that I know how to make decisions. So I want to be able to have insight on the things that happen in our lives, right? Like, I want to be able to have input on the things that we do and what I think might be our route. I do want to be able to voice those things to you and you to be able to take them and make those decisions. I want to be able to take care of you, but I don't want it to be in the sense where you expect me to take care of you. Like that expectation of you have to do this, because then it becomes an obligation as opposed to I'm doing it because I want to. I don't want to feel obligated to have to take care of you because that's what I'm supposed to do. I want it to be something that I do because I trust you and I want to take care of you and I want to be this role for you and I want to do things for you. But when I feel like, I think the things that make me sort of nervous is when I feel like it becomes an obligation. You're expecting me to do this. You expect me to take care of everything. Now, I might be willing to take care of things for you, but I also need you to be able to like hold some of your own weight. I think there's a part of me that when it comes to like very traditional old school relationships where the man only worked and the woman did everything for him and he really didn't have to do anything, that part slightly terrifies me. Because like I don't want you to feel like you don't have to do anything. Like I want you to want to contribute to the household sometimes. I want you to want to be able to like do things. I don't want to feel like if I start to feel like I'm doing things because it's an obligation and not because I'm choosing to do things for you, I'm choosing to take care of you. Like I want to submit to you because it's my choice to submit to you. As opposed to I have to.
Would you find it hard to be submissive in an area that your dominant partner needs you to be? I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So, my partner that I have, I don't like someone having control over my finances, which leads into what I do for work.
Right.
But there was an ice storm in Texas and I was supposed to be going out of town. And he said to me, if I do not feel comfortable with the way the roads are looking, you are not going on your work trip.
I like it. That turned you on. That turned me on.
No, it didn't actually, because I was like, well, if I feel safe driving, then I should be able to go. It's my job, and this is what pays my bills. I need to pay my bills. Now, I didn't say that out loud, of course.
What if on some big boy shit he said, I got this week, or I got this month's bills if you miss work?
Well, no. We don't live together.
No, even better. Even better. If you said, but this is how, like, it's my job, and I said I'm not worried about that, then what?
I'm sure he would have paid the bills, but still, I didn't. I listened, and it ended up the roads were okay, but I didn't like it. But I was still submissive.
No, Bella.
Did y'all talk about it?
I've had this happen to me before. I've been like, I'm gonna go somewhere, and somebody's been like, no, it's not safe. You don't need to go anywhere. You need to stay put. And in my head, I'm thinking, I'm gonna leave whenever the fuck I want to.
Right.
But I did not.
Of course not. Did we talk about it?
How did you feel about it?
It was okay.
Moment.
So in the moment, it was difficult because I'm so used to making my own decisions. But because I respected the fact that my partner thought this is not safe for you, and it would make me feel away, and they were worried about my safety. Okay, then I was like, all right, I can consider it because if I trust him, then I understand why he feels this way.
Yeah.
Was it difficult for me? Do it now?
I'm saying, because at the same time, for both of y'all in those situations with your partners, I could have not gave a fuck. But I am not doing it because I'm mean. I'm trying to tell you, like, hey, don't walk down that fucking alley. You like, nothing's gonna happen. Bitch, I said don't walk down the goddamn alley. You know what I'm saying? Right. So kudos to them niggas.
Right.
Kudos to those men.
Right. Like it's weird because like it's like there's a part of you that's saying, you don't get to tell me what to do. But there's another part that's saying, but I also appreciate and understand where you're coming from.
Right.
But
all I'm doing
hard.
Is telling you to take your medicine. I bet. Bitch, I'm going.
Mel wasn't here. No, so it's Bella. This is Bella. Mel wasn't here a second ago, but this is Bella, Mike. No, I get it. It was hard though. It was hard to give up that space in my head that says you leave whenever you want to go. You know what's best for you. And that's a struggle.
That was a
And
struggle
trying to
for me.
take
To hear
my
someone
life.
say that, I was like,
Yes.
pardon me?
Right. That's especially
I
when you've
I
spent so
would have
much
did the
time
same
like
thing.
just doing things on your own. And so if I've been making these decisions for myself for forever, and now all of a sudden you want to come tell me maybe that's not safe.
So for these gentlemen, for Bella, your partner, and Basic for the next nigga who tell you to sit down when you don't think you should yet, so that y'all get a little bit more extra wet when they take this authoritative role, I want y'all to understand, right? It takes growth in a man that we don't even share with y'all for us to even get to the point where we think about talking to y'all. It's the same concept. You ever had been in a relationship and you had to say like, damn, you went to the store, you never even thought about me. And nigga be like, oh shit, I mean, I didn't know you was gonna want some chips. Naturally, that's how we men are. We don't give a fuck. Like, do your thing, sis. I'm about to play Madden, I'm about to play 2K.
Right.
So when we get to a level where we're like, hey, the thing you gotta do in the future, I am thinking about how it's going to affect you. Oh man, I need y'all to be like, you know what? Wait a minute, I can't believe this nigga did this much thing. Because trust me, we will zone out.
No, and I think that's what made it easier for me to make the decision. I appreciated the fact that he even thought about. Like, I appreciated the fact that he took my safety into consideration. It wasn't a matter of you're not doing this just because I told you not to.
Yeah.
It was him telling me not to do it because he really thought it wasn't safe. You know what I mean? And so he took it into consideration because I know
a whole fucking ice storm in a state where people can't handle ice.
I mean,
you should have went in the house and gave him some for that. He should have got some extra chocolate.
He gets plenty
for
chocolate.
that.
But
No, he should have got even more.
Yeah.
Because I saw how y'all responded.
No, but
I saw how y'all responded to that storm. He was right. It was dangerous as shit to be out there.
Storm. No, not that storm. It's another one. And it wasn't that I was like, oh, I'm going to go. There's an ice storm. But I was just like, if I feel the roads are safe enough, then why wouldn't I be able to go? Right. He was like, I don't care what the news says. He had to feel comfortable in order for me to go.
Right.
And that's where I was like,
So,
right.
What I think, or what I'm hearing, maybe it's the wording, maybe it's how it was delivered. Like, one, he was worried, but two, it was more so that I don't really give a fuck what nobody else said. We doing what I say. Maybe that was the tough part.
It was. Because I was like, if I feel like it's safe, then I should be able to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just me. I would have looked at the news and all that stuff too.
Right. Mm-hmm. I think if you're not listening to me at all and you just like, no, because I said so, I'm not going to lie. Part of me is going to be like, I might go anyway just because you're telling me no and you ain't even listening to me. But that's just the hard hit part of me. I'm not lying. I'm going to consider it for a second. But I do know what would make me even angrier is if I had a man that didn't even say anything to me at all. Yeah. I can't. And I've had that before too, to have a man who doesn't consider. Okay, I used to date a guy. And I remember thinking in our relationship, there was a time when we would do a lot of traveling because it was a little bit long distance and I would travel. And I remember thinking he was so unconcerned with my safety. Like when I would leave, it wasn't necessarily that I wasn't safe, but he never flinched. Like he never was like, do you need anything?
He never flinched.
No. Do you need anything? Are you okay? Maybe you shouldn't leave at this time. Not one time ever was he like,
what I'm saying.
When's his birthday?
There are people like that exist. So let that man love you.
October 3rd, I want to say.
Sounds like a Libra.
He
was a Libra, wasn't he?
I don't know because I don't even know if it's okay. So I'm just being completely honest.
Oh, you said October 3rd?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's talk to me.
I remember thinking to myself, the fact that this man never says anything to me about. He never was like. He was never like.
Don't give a fuck.
And for me, if he was him coming to me, I'd be like, "Are you okay?" Because the nurturing side of me kicked in. So I'm like, are you okay? Do you need anything? Are you good? But for him to never consider to ask me, are you okay? Do you have everything? Are you safe? Do you have gas? Do you need gas money? Like even the offering or thinking about it or being like, maybe you shouldn't leave. I remember leaving his house late at night one time, and he lived he lived in another state one, but also kind of like out in the country. So a lot of my driving was going to be on very dark wooded roads.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember him never saying to me, "Are you sure you want to leave right now? Or do you want to?"
Was these after nights of giving him some? Because that's a sad drive to give a man some and then drive along dark wooded roads in the South. The second time I was like, you know what?
Together,
I don't think we're doing this.
It would be like whole weekends of us staying together. Like it wouldn't be like I was just going for like one night to see him and then popping back home. That wasn't like that.
Mm.
It was an actual.
I think that makes it worse that you gave him multiple sessions of cat and still had to make that drive. I think that's even worse. If he was eating it right and your legs didn't work, that you were even more at risk.
Well, we had been in I don't know. It was, I think, and this is for a time for a whole other conversation. This is a whole other conversation, but I think there was a part of me that was just trying to look at other things. I knew that was an issue for me, but I was always trying to look at different things in our relationship and trying to consider, we've been together for so long, and maybe I'm looking into it too much, or maybe, and to the point where it just got to be too much.
I was married to, I know a lot of people aren't into Zodiac, but I believe in them to a certain extent. But I was married to them. I was a Libra too. Very nonchalant, whatever. But what actually did it for me was when my brother passed away and I was not allowed to talk about it.
No.
Yeah. He was just like, change the subject. And I'm like,
that's wild.
I was like, like, you're okay with me venting to somebody else about my deepest feelings, but you're my husband? He was like, well, I mean, if you have to. I was like, when you're that nonchalant,
that's crazy.
Yeah. He said you gotta do what you gotta do.
Right?
If I come to you with something that is deep and you don't say to me, if you don't have any concern, you know what I mean? Or if you don't want to be like, how can I help you fix this? Or I've got you. If I don't feel like you're the person I'm supposed to come to when something is tough.
Right.
We've lost something there. And I think that also has a lot to do with me trusting you. If I can't trust you where you are the person that I know, if I need someone to say everything is going to be okay because I got you.
Right.
I'd be the ultimate partner. I'm so good at saying everything's gonna be okay. I'm a real I got it ass nigga.
Not that I got it ass nigga.
But no.
Put it on the show.
And now that I think about that relationship, I think there were a lot of instances of what was the role of submissiveness and dominance. Okay. Mm-hmm. But in ways that I don't think I even considered at the time. I thought that there was a time when I was thinking about relocating to be closer to him. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm going to think about all of this. I want to think about like schools for my daughter, where I'm going to work, all those things. Mm-hmm. And at the time where he was living, it was not a place that, one, I could have had a career for myself. I wanted to be able to contribute to us. And for him, it was just like, you just come stay here. But that in my head just didn't even make any sense. Like I could never, as a single mom, move in with someone and not have a backup plan. Okay, I need to be able to in some way know that I can take care of myself.
I love plan B.
Oh,
and we're off.
Here we go. So, but then I noticed there were times when like I feel I'm doing it to myself. I'm about to expose myself and shame myself. There were times when he needed things financially, right? Whether it be just in his day-to-day or when it came time to come and see me. And I would be like, okay, whatever it takes to make this happen. And I remember thinking to myself, at a certain point of our relationship, he expects this from me.
Yeah.
Yep.
And not once has he offered me anything at any time when I came to see him. Mm-hmm. But and what really got it was, I had gone to see him one time. I had gone to visit him.
Did you give him some?
Of course, because I didn't drive up there for nothing. So yes.
That's got to be your next that's got to be the next topic of y'all podcast.
What? Did you give him some?
Did you
Do
give
you
them?
have? Yeah.
But did you give him
Is it for
Does that
nothing?
fix everything?
Is it for
Thumbs up?
nothing?
So I drove up there and I remember him asking me subtly, like on the last day before I was getting ready to leave, he brought up a light bill.
Oh hell no!
And when I tell you, I looked at this man like, I know he is not about to fix his mouth to ask me to help him pay his light bill or to pay his light bill. I know that's not what's about to happen.
Did it?
100%. That was the whole, like, he wanted me to pay a bill for him.
Mm.
And I was like, this is not how this is supposed to be. So I was like, okay, I'm really going to reevaluate this. And then there was one more instance. And I think that was when it was the nail for me at that time. That was the nail in the coffin. His daughter had a birthday.
I love coffins.
And he was like, he was saying it in a way I knew exactly what he was about to ask me. He was like, I don't have the money to get her a gift right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew he was about to ask me for money to give her a gift. But at this point, this was after the light bill issue and a lot of other issues. And I was like, oh, I get it. He just expects for me to take care of him.
Yes.
But he doesn't have to do anything for me in return.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a problem. And I think part of me thought, am I just taking care of this man? Like, am I just taking care of him?
You definitely were.
Big dogs.
And it ruined a lot for me.
Yeah. I think in my marriage, I had a very docile person.
He was very docile.
Yeah. And so that's what not ruined, but makes me lean more towards having dominant male partners than a submissive one. Because I don't want the submissive partner to turn into be a docile person. Or just because I had a docile person for 8 years. Like, I just don't ever want to deal with having to take care of a man.
Right.
Like, ever.
I think a lot of times people think, oh, you want somebody to be dominant. A lot of people think that you want someone to take care of you and to do everything because you can't. And that's not the case. I can take care of myself. I know how to. But I love the fact that I can trust my partner to do it for us as well.
Yes.
Like you never done
because
before.
I can't with him. It's an element of trust. If I can trust you, myself, like if I can trust you, it's an element of trust. It's like I don't.
And that's what I think you were trying to explain earlier, that not necessarily that you would bulldoze over someone,
right?
But like, hey, it's like me. I can take care of myself. I've been a single mom for Lord knows how long, right? I was a single mom before I got married, dealt with that junk. And then now as a divorced person, I am a single mom again. I can take care of myself. However, if you come into my life and you say, hey, I can take care of these things for you and you can trust me to do it, I want to be able to do that. I prefer to have a partner that can take care of me. However, if you don't, then I'm going to do it by myself and I'm still going to be okay.
Right. And not necessarily take care of you financially because I don't
right.
No. It doesn't have to be financially, but I mean, like, to take care of us. You know what I mean? I know that you can take care of us. I'm trusting you with taking care of the both of us.
Right.
Because I know I can do it on my own, but me giving you that trust and being able to do that for me, to do that for the both of us in this relationship, that's a huge, like, I prefer that. I prefer for a person. And also, I don't know if, I know it has a lot to do with my own, like my personal character, because I know some people don't want to be that person. Like some people, I will say this, and here's the crazy part. In my family, my mother and my sisters both have very dominating characters. All three of them. All three of them do. Mm-hmm. My mother and my older sister definitely run their households. My younger sister, who is probably the most dominant out of the three of us, actually, I don't know if I can say she's the most. I will say this: Kim knows that she could run things if she wanted to. She's aware. Kim's a boss, and she is blunt, and she's gonna tell you like it is, but she makes it a point to make her partner feel like he has control over a lot of decisions that happen in the household. So that because her character is naturally to be a person who's she can run you over if you allow her to. But she makes it a point to let him know that their partnership is equal.
Yeah.
And that his decisions are very important. And she doesn't do things like just to do them, like especially when it comes to their household, to their family. Like it's just very important for him to know that he also has as much, a say. I think that's important. But for me personally, I've always been and felt like I don't know if I'm as dominating as the three of them. And I think I would want my partner to be in control.
And I think it's important to know that just because you're submissive doesn't mean that you're lesser than that. Being submissive and being dominant in your relationship, it's an exchange. And if people see it as an exchange, then I think that they'll take on the roles a bit more different. Like, I give an example of, like last week, I was at my partner's house, and
did y'all do it?
We always do it. Oh my god. Anyway, so in the morning when we got up, I do chores at his house. But while I'm, doing chores or, adding woman's touch to his place, how I say it, he's on the computer working on networking for a business that we're launching together in order to help expand us financially. So to me, that's an exchange. Hey, instead of you spending time folding your clothes because, that's not your favorite thing to do, you're working on a plan and making moves to make us money. That's an exchange to me.
Right.
Even though what he's doing seems dominant and what I'm doing seems submissive.
Yeah, I dig that.
It's crazy. I think maybe I have a better way of describing it. I do best in a supportive role. Does that make sense? I want to support my partner because I know that I bring things to the table. I like to allow my partner to take the lead, but I also know that I want you to know that my support is I need to know one of my support is valued. You understand the value of the type of support that I'm bringing to you. So it's not just like, oh, you just do whatever I tell you to do. You value me and the support that I bring to you, because I'm going to support you in all of your decisions. And you have to understand of what I'm bringing to the table, but I'm also giving you, trusting you to take the lead. I'm just playing a more supportive role in our relationship. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
I feel like I go back and forth. And I didn't realize I was like that until right now. Like I almost questioned. I think I've always thought to myself, "Oh, you're a submissive person, and that's just it." But I don't think I realized until really thinking about what it means to certain people and what submissiveness can mean and what forms it can take and how people can be submissive and what it might mean to one person versus another. I don't think I realized that there were things that I might not like about being submissive. I think you
still sound submissive to me, not subservient. There's a difference.
Ooh,
but you do sound
Bella. I like it.
Now she's turned. Look, see.
Not subservient. I do like that though.
See.
What eyes? What are we seeing?
Places.
Oh my gosh.
A new term tickled you. I saw your face tickled.
I do. I like that though. Oh.
Shiny. Shiny.
I like that though. I like not being subservient, but wanting to be submissive. I do want to be submissive to my partner. I do want to allow my partner to take the lead. I don't want to feel like it's an obligation.
Yeah,
I
that
want to
would be
feel like it's a
subservient.
choice that I made, right? I want to feel like it's a choice that I've made to let you take the lead. I also want to feel like you value my presence and you value what I bring to our relationship.
Absolutely.
And my opinion in what happens. And not just I'm doing it and you don't got no say. I could never be in a relationship where it's like I'm doing this and you don't really have no say.
Yeah, no. It's not gonna work for me.
The way you popped that gum at the end of that made that very clear. Clearly, that wasn't a joke. Wow.
It wasn't. I'm for real. Don't think you fixing to come here and be like,
so real. Heavy deep and so for real.
Because I said so. What?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not happening like that. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Chico, bye.
Absolutely not. I have also dated a man who was just very much like, oh, it's black and like everything was so black and white, and so he just felt like everything he said was right.
Ugh.
I was actually about the other day if it's ever difficult to deal with men. This is kind of what I was asking. I guess I'll ask now. I asked her early in the week, Bella, as a woman, do you ever find it difficult just interacting with men in the sense that a lot of men are going to assume they're right and a lot of men are going to assume that they should take the role? Have you ever had a frustration with a man being like, well, I'm the man?
Absolutely.
Is it a common thing?
Not
Is
always.
it a common thing?
Not for me.
Not always. I guess it just depends on the man. But when I come across a man that's like, I'm always right, no matter what you say, then I take a they're not the man for me.
And I've dated someone like that before. He was just like I had to tell him, you speak down to me, and I don't think you understand if you know who I am. Like, why are you talking? Don't talk down to me. Like, just because you're the man doesn't mean that everything you say is right, and you're talking at me, not to me. Like, he very much was like, oh, this is how it is, and don't do. Like, it was the way he spoke to me. It was a lot of times it was his tone. It was, you don't do this. It was, he was always right. Do what now?
Oh my God.
Can I make it spicy yet?
Not permission.
Go ahead. Yes, Oz, go ahead and make it spicy.
So as a man, I tend to not be like that, right? But I have friends, especially being that I'm a person in the military. I have a friend, or had a friend, whichever way you want to put it, that I knew for years. I knew him when he was married to one woman, and then they ended up splitting. And I knew him through his whole phase. Then I knew him when he started dating this new female. And then they decided to get married. And I knew, like, ooh, honey, like, I don't know if you know what you're getting into. And that was wild to see her be because some women, believe it or not, are very into men who are like that, because either what they were missing or what they were raised by makes them think like a man being overly cavemanish is sexy. And I saw over the years that she realized, her realize like, this man is, annoying per se. And we talked later in life, like way later in life, not like sexual or anything, but just as friends, like, hey, how you been? She knows my whole family. I know their whole family. His first children, his children with her. And she was like, the last few years has been really rough. And I was like, And I didn't want to assume that it was going to be because of the reason I thought. But when she went into it, I was like, part of me wanted to say, like, you thought this was sexy at one point. Like, you thought this was the sexiest shit in the world that he was like this. And now you're like, you can't do anything but grill me and shoot guns. And now you're kind of bothered because it's been giving you gray hair. I felt really bad.
Not grill me.
I don't know why I said I was gonna make it spicy. But
I was waiting for the spice.
He was one of those people that was like, so. You ever meet a person that's so what they say they are? Like, he's a tall white man from Texas, and everything about him says that. Like, he's got a burnt flag on his back. He's in the army. He loves Bush. So when she popped up on the scene, I was like, "Oh, you really think you think this Star Wars man cave is sexy for real?" And in the beginning she did, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then it slowly grew on her, and I was like, "I caught up to you."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think is the mix-up? I think it's because we confuse that persona that we want in the bedroom with what we want every day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love the whole caveman brutish in the bedroom. Like, that's great.
I'm sure.
But every
I'm
day,
so sure.
when we turn the lights back on and get dressed,
turn the lights
relax
on.
a little
Yes,
bit.
raw.
Relax.
Raw. No, raw.
Relax a little bit, okay? I need you to act like
Not roar.
I'm gonna need you to act like you got a little sense. But no, like, I think we confuse that. And I think because because it's sexy to us to watch a man be a man and be like brutish, because we're thinking about the sexual side of it, that sometimes we confuse that with what we need to run our everyday lives.
Right.
What we need when it comes to making decisions.
I love, before I say this, I love when the guys are around too. I love when I have help from other men, but I really love being jumped by two women. So let's just put that out there before I start.
Oh Lord.
Why?
I want y'all to look through a man's eye for a second, if it's possible. Y'all realize how confusing it is to get y'all, being that one, men go through phases, through teenage years to early 20s to all the stages. All while y'all are going through it. Y'all realize, y'all just said, "Oh man, sometimes it is so sexy to see a caveman." You mean after we done did all this work to learn how to write poetry and put thorned roses in our mouth, now you want me to? Oh my god!
Why
now you
can't
just
you
want
be
me to come in here with a ripped tank top and dirty shirts? Oh my god! Cause man, they all take a lot of time, woman. They all take a lot of time. Have you ever had to write a poem and then go change the oil? Jesus, girl, how much time in a day?
Can I make it spicy real quick?
Yes, Bella, but actually make it spicy, not like Ozzy spicy.
Okay,
oh wow, you remember that? You remember that when I turned up? You remember that?
So I would say I appreciate and I really love a man that can show more intelligence in some area than me. Like if you are amazing at stock markets, like that is going to turn me on because I don't know what the hell is going on.
Bella, I thought I was the only one.
Right?
I was literally trying to explain this to someone the other day.
Do you mean that part or the stock market part? Because it's right on both.
But
right on both. So Bella, let me take fitness if you want to be turned on. Because if you be like Terrence,
my gosh,
touch me with the stock market.
If you could touch me with the stock market, then you're doing things that
I can't.
You're taking us places
exactly. That's my point. I can't.
I mean, but
so
I'm just saying,
find something else.
It doesn't have to be the stock market. Okay, you can be like the best like home improvement person and know how to fix everything in the house because I don't know how to fix shit. Right?
Yes.
So
no, I can't do that either. You're still not gonna be wet. It's getting rough. It's getting real rough for us.
Just be good at what you are really good at.
Right.
And that is a big turn on for us. So no, it's not that you have to be a caveman and raw.
Right.
Be good at what you are good at.
I was just literally having this conversation with someone the other day. I was like, there's nothing sexier to me than watching a man like in his expertise, his element. And he's just like proficient at it and he knows exactly what he's talking about. A man talking about, I don't know, case in point, many years ago, I used to date this guy, and I remember thinking to myself, I can't stand him. Like, I'm gonna break up with him. And I remember he was really good at like
your stories are so
computer coding. He was really good at like computer coding or something. And he started to talk to me about computer stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna see with him one more time.
Yeah, Deja what?
So much is coming together suddenly.
Dang, because if I can outsmart you in everything, I am bored.
Not she said so. You just dumb at all of it. So you just don't know how to do nothing.
I had decided in my mind I was breaking up with him, and then he started like talking like he knew exactly what he was so proficient, and I was like, I'll give it one more time.
Yes.
So much sense has been made.
So learn how to dominate in the area that you can dominate. There you go.
If I could give you a high five right now, I would.
If that's the thing, I will say I am really good at computer stuff. Like, if you say like something is not doing something, you're gonna be like, you going too far, and none of what you're saying is actually making sense. Like,
But how often do you have
that
computer
person.
conversations with people?
And I'm OCD. If they bring it up, so I'm one of those people. Like, you know this. Like, if you get me to go in nerd world, I will go too far. If you get me to go into comics, I will go too far. So, anything that's nerdy, type dealy, shit like that. Yeah, that's my lane, and I can go for days.
See, for me, I'll be like, I don't know what the hell you talking about.
Fitness. I can't decorate a house, and I can't fix a house, but I can put this motherfucker together. Like, you like, why? Like, why do we have 6 remote controls in order by size and color? Don't know.
He's definitely that person. He's definitely that person.
But
Bella, you could not have said it better. Be dominant in your area. And I'm telling if there's any advice that we give to the men in the world, this is the advice. Figure out how to be dominant in your area of expertise and then use that to your advantage. You'd be surprised how many women that you could like win over.
I'm gonna make it sound better for you so that you can make it a TikTok, and you better make it a TikTok or I'm not gonna say out loud what I'm gonna do to you. But find your lane and dominate it.
Yes. 100%.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if men realize it. Like, I was trying to tell a guy, he was doing something, and I was like, this right here, you just doing your thing right here, this is sexy. Like, the other stuff, I don't need that. This right here,
I feel like we had that conversation with somebody in the tribe once, or at least we wanted to. We did. No, I know what it is. Like, they were making the wrong content. They were making content like other people. And then they made one video that everybody loved. It was like, you should do this. Like,
this is the thing. Like, this is it. This right here. Do this right here. This is the one. Stick to that. Stick to that. See how things kind of like just come full circle. So, I mean, I think also because times have changed, the idea of what submissiveness has also changed as well.
Absolutely.
And I think we just have to figure out how to fit it into our world right now.
Elaborate on that. What do you mean? What do you mean you think it's changed or whatever, or how we see it?
Back in the day with our mothers and our fathers, traditionally, submissiveness was pretty much black and white. It was the woman submits to her man, he goes and he makes all the money, and she takes care of the household and the children, and he makes all the choices, and she takes care of him and does what he wants, and she doesn't really have a choice, or sometimes even at that time a voice, right? She doesn't have a voice. She doesn't have a say. He does everything. He makes, like, no matter, and also a lot of times to a very toxic extent, like, he was the person who did everything and made all of the choices, no matter what it meant, no matter what she wanted, no matter like what her opinions were. Her role was to play, like, that was her place. Her place was to be submissive to her husband. And a lot of it has to do with religion at some point. You know, like, you are taught that you're supposed to be submissive to your husband. He makes all the choices and you don't have a say. So back in the day, I just feel like it was way more clear cut what submissiveness was. The husband takes control. He's the breadwinner. And because he's the breadwinner, no matter how smart he is, no matter how emotionally intelligent he is, because he is the breadwinner and he brings home the money, he makes all of the choices. What now?
I do eat a lot of bread.
Oh my.
Bread. I love bread. Big bread.
Here we go. Okay. All right with the bread. But that was the thing in the day. No matter what your intelligence was, no matter your emotional intelligence, no matter, any of that.
I just feel so bad
because you made the money. You were the person who made all the decisions, and your wife still submitted to you and did whatever you wanted.
Very bad for the women of the past, just knowing that the world played out the way it played out all the time, just because that's like crazy to me.
Right.
I couldn't imagine being in a world where, like, well, he's a boy, so you gotta do his.
But that was the case in the day, and a lot of times back in the day, women just naturally took a back seat to men, And so submissiveness just was very clear cut. It was an obligation. It almost like it was just the way it was supposed to be.
Yep.
Over time, it's become way more about choice. It's about also what it means to you and how much submissiveness you're willing to give to your partner and what roles you're willing to play. And also because women now make money and sometimes men are the people who stay home and take care of the kids, it's not necessarily a gender role anymore. Submissiveness and dominance in a relationship has to do with like the role that you play in your relationship as opposed to what your gender is. Like I feel like back in the day it was just very clear cut of what exactly it was supposed to be. And over time it's just changed with how our individual roles in society have played out. Women can take care of themselves now.
Yep.
Sometimes men don't work. They decide to be the person to stay home. So when you think about those things in those contexts, I think submissiveness is very individualistic to your relationship. And there's no cut, dry, clear cut like explanation of it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. The gender roles are
That's how I feel.
disappearing.
Definitely 100%. It's also interesting because I was watching this show on Netflix. I think it was it's not Love is Blind, it's Ultimatum, something like that. And it was a lesbian couple and the masculine woman and the masculine in the relationship, she was the person who wanted to stay home, but she was struggling with what that meant about her dominance in the relationship. And just hearing them kind of have that conversation with each other, like her partner was the more feminine one but was the breadwinner, and they were struggling with what those dynamics meant for the two of them.
This is why I wasn't born a woman, especially because I would have still ate the vagina. Ain't no way I'm gonna be the femme and you gonna be the what you mean we both got twats and you want to be the dominant one and stay home, bitch? So what bitch, if you stop playing with me, stop playing with me. What you mean?
It never fails.
We're both naturally females, so we chose that you were gonna be the dominant person and you decided to not go to work. Oh hell no.
I think the struggle though came in because one of them was more masculine. She always felt that the masculine role meant being the dominant partner in the relationship. She thought that like masculinity meant dominance.
Somebody just wanted to be, she wanted to have the male like characteristics, but they're going to work shit's gay. And I get it. She wanted to be a house husband. That's a new thing too. She should have just said it that way. You can say it that way.
She did want to be a house husband, but she was also struggling with, if I don't make the money. She also, it was like her partner was saying, well, if I'm bringing in all of the money,
that's what
and
I
I'm
said
the
earlier,
breadwinner,
though.
like, why do you think I don't get
People
to have
don't
a
like
say?
to accept
why are you the dominant person?
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't
definitely be like, if you don't sit your ass down.
Breadwinner, though.
They don't have to be. They don't have to be. I think it's all about also what and that's another thing. What I mean by it's evolved. Like just because you make all the money does not mean you have to be the dominant person in the relationship. If you don't have the capability of making the decisions that matter in your relationship, and for your partner to be able to put that kind of trust in you, you can't be the dominant partner, no matter how much money you make.
Yep.
Wait, say it again. If what with what, and you can't do the what?
If you're just because you're the person that makes the most,
who was catching and who was throwing, I think that's important in their relationship.
We're off that. We're off that one now. We're off that now.
Oh, where we at? We on the money again?
Stay focused. Yes.
I don't like talking about the money part though, because I feel like as a man to talk about the money part makes me chauvinistic. I feel like I am always trying to prove that I'm not.
What do you mean? No, we were just saying that just because you make all the money does not mean that you get to be the dominant person. You might not be the person who has the skills or the mental capacity to make good decisions for us.
What if you're good at making money, but you're not good at managing money?
Right.
But at the same time, and I'm not saying you guys are wrong, I'm just saying let's say I'm a fucking idiot with the management of my money, but I make it like I'm an athlete. Let's say I'm Mike Tyson.
You could.
Wouldn't I still be giving you the power? Am I not like giving it to you?
Sure. I
And
feel
that's
like
my
you can
decision,
say
because
that.
at
Like, you
any
can
point
say,
I could
I'm giving
say
you the power to make
I'm
the
just not
money.
gonna give you the money. Because just like athletes, while they might be terrible at stuff, they're still in charge. You know what I'm saying? Like if the manager says, "Hey, you should invest," and I say I don't want to, you can't be like, "Well, you're investing." Okay, that's the fuck you pay.
You're in
Money
charge of the
gone.
money, but can you make a choice for your life? You might be in charge of some dollar bills, but can you make a choice for your life?
I choose to fail. Now give me my money back.
I mean, it's the same for submissives. Hey, you're not leading, so I'm gonna take my submission back.
Right.
Take care of it myself.
Let's see you
Right.
take it back without this safe word.
Please.
Here we go.
And we're off.
Well,
All right,
y'all.
so let's get nasty.
Not let's get nasty.
I mean, we ain't got to it, and we're supposed to. Does your role in the relationship often translate to the bedroom, or is it more often the opposite?
Definitely translates the same, but more extreme.
Yep.
Oh wow, extreme.
Yeah. I am not about to expose myself, but it's definitely.
Why? You're the only host.
It never fails. I always expose myself on these shows. But no, it's more extreme. If you think about the level of submissiveness that I want to be in my everyday, I can tend to take it to the next level.
So you just don't want to breathe today.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Huh?
What are you saying?
What are you saying? What are we talking about right now? What? You don't want to say extreme. Sounds dangerous.
No, it's just like, I don't mean like extreme, like hardcore. I'm just meaning like I am even more submissive in the bedroom.
Yep.
So you're just a big old kitten.
Sure, if that's what you want me to be. Like,
see how easy it came out? Right, she said, if that's what you want, Daddy. Wow.
If that's what you want me to be. Like,
not the daddy.
Who's the host here? Who's the host right now? You feel me?
No, I'm just saying, like, if that's very much like, if I'm very much, yes, it does translate the same in the bedroom. I'm just going to answer the question, yes.
Bella, how does it translate?
Oh, I'm the same. If I am submissive to you in everyday life, then yes, it's even more so in the bedroom. Because I feel like that's my connection to you. That's my expression of my deepest self and my deepest role.
I like the way you put that.
You possess the ability to change the role. Like if one day Mr. Run the House comes in and he's like, take over in the bedroom. You can manage that.
Hilarious story. We just encountered this yesterday. And no, I cannot.
Nice.
What? Because I always say that I want to wrestle, but we know that I don't only like men. So I will wrestle a woman and fight and stuff like that for fun. And so yesterday he lays out this palette and goes, "You keep talking about wrestling, so let's go." Man, I was like, where is the top rope? Because no, I already give up. I didn't even try to lay a hand on it. Can't do it.
Wow.
So listen, my answer to that question is yes, with one stipulation.
Which is?
I'm gonna try to find a way to put this lightly. I have to have in my mind that I'm taking control of you, but it's like I'm still taking control of you with the knowledge that it's like I want to feel like I'm taking down a bear, not I'm taking down a lamb.
I don't want to take down the bear. I want the bear to take down.
You want to growl and you want me to fight back and you hope I lose.
We're switching it up, and you like let's switch it up tonight. And I want you to be more in control. I want to feel like I'm taking down a bear.
So you don't want me to put my hands on my.
He definitely would.
No, I don't want you to be like, no, please don't do that.
don't let me win.
No.
No, I
You cool,
definitely
girl?
could have. Now, if he would have just straight up like came and attacked me and be like, "Don't let me win," that'd have been different. But when he was just like, "Okay, let's fight," I was like, "I can't do it."
Okay.
Nope.
Let me lead y'all to the answer that I want. Okay. If I'm the initiator, usually I'm the one who starts it. I'm the one who comes for you. I'm the one who, makes it the mood, right?
Yes.
If it's just been like kind of the same routine and it's feeling like a rep maybe, or it's just like, hey, yesterday we didn't do it, but we did it the first 5 days of the week. Do you have the potential to come in the room and be like, you know what, let me set the mood. Let me start it. Let me fire him up.
Absolutely. It's called seduction.
Like push my ass down. Like,
Nah, I won't push you down, but I'll seduce you.
oh, meow.
You're right. Yes, you can do that. I feel like it only gets weird when I feel like, wait, did I become the man? Like, when you be like, wait, hold on, what just happened?
Your fears are so funny.
That's hilarious.
Like if you can make your fears a skit where you just woke up as a boy, like, no.
But no, like,
What do you mean I have to get it right?
I think, and I say this because I've had someone who was like, the thing that made me very attractive is they were very dominant, but in the bedroom they liked it to be very submissive, almost submissive to the point where it was like
weird.
for me, like it felt like, oh, but now you feel, why do you want to be weak now that we're in the bed? Like, why do you want to be? Why is that the role you want to play? I didn't like it. I want to still see.
You don't want to know what that damn fantasy
and if
is,
you
man.
give up some of your powers because you chose to, like because you just did, and you still was in control, not because you didn't have any choice.
Nah.
I think for me, like I won't say that I guess it is initiating when I do something seductive, but my partner typically, I don't know, we do it all the time. But anyway, besides that, he normally starts it off, but there are times where, like, for instance, I'll randomly in the middle of the day when I'm supposed to get something to him, I might get whatever he needs and sandwich a picture in between what he needs and then go back to regular conversation. To me, that's seduction, right?
Yeah.
And it's like when he doesn't expect it. So to me, that's initiating something because I know I'm starting something. Like,
but I think he's also talking about, like, not only just initiating it, but being the person who's like slightly more control of the flow of it. Like, not depending
make it happen. Right. Because we men, like, when I say, all right, so like I'll use me for example, since I have not been. No, I don't need you to like punch me and slap me and treat me the way that I might have to treat you to get you there. But some days I really it might have not crossed my mind. I need you to be like, yo, so
yeah.
Who you punching to get
I'm
them?
saying nobody's punching me. Listen.
Sorry.
What I tell you, don't make me tell the truth. All right. But sometimes a man, we just want a woman to like walk up and be like, so hey, is we fucking or what? You know what I'm saying? Because often women just sit on the edge of the bed like, if I don't initiate, we not fucking tonight. Bitch, take it, grab it, smack it, do something with it, pull it, pop it, twirl it.
Well, I'll wake you up by rubbing you, or if you're busy watching something, I probably will come straddle you and use my voice to tell you, like, hey, how you doing? I'll come in the room, wear something sexy. When you're not thinking about it, I'm gonna come distract you when you're supposed to be working. Yeah, I'll initiate.
Oh my God! I work in a very secret building in a room with no windows with a lot of other IT nerds. If you straddle me while I'm working, we got a major problem already. But I like where you're going with it. I like the energy.
Yes. So,
my gosh.
To me, that's initiating. Yes, I will do that.
Yeah, that works.
But once you initiate, Bella, do you expect for him to take control again?
Yeah,
Or
like then
can
you
you
like, I
carry
done
on the
started it, so
control
I'm
throughout
putting
the
it
whole
in.
situation?
Yeah, because of the way that
Let's just say it. Are
I
you gonna grab
dynamics
it and
work.
sit on it and start riding, or you just gonna kiss it and when it get up, he better do something with it?
See, I have to ask permission
Oh,
because
don't ask me
that's
permission,
our
bitch. If you
dynamic.
don't, bitch, that thing done been in there 50 times. If you don't sit on this motherfucker and
But
fucking grind on it
but
like you trying to
Oz,
break
you're
up some
forgetting
peanuts,
that is her role
That's my role.
in
That's
that
our dynamic.
relationship.
it is,
So
and
I
I do
have
get that, and that's why I asked, is it possible to switch? Not like, is it a thing that's gonna happen? Because if your role is, being a submissive, then that's your natural state.
uh-huh.
Your natural state probably isn't your everyday, or I don't want it to be your everyday state. I want it to be your default. Let's say like that, like your default. But your default, some days I don't want your default. Like some days I honestly won't think to initiate because I'm in dead mode or work. Just it fries your brain some days.
Yeah.
But that's
Mhm.
not to say I don't still want to be affectionate and share that whatever it is, or maybe I didn't think about the fact that might have been what took me out of my head today. So I
Yeah.
need somebody that sometimes can say, "Hey, you know what to get you right." So I'm gonna control
Yep.
out my hands. And
I
I'm like, bitch,
definitely
what is that?
can.
And then
Or if I say, hey, would you mind if I just sat on top of you?
if you
Sure.
don't mind,
Sure.
Bella,
I do
don't
have
ask me if I
blanket
mind.
consent to
Just
wake
sit
him
on
up
top of me.
and
Bella,
and
if
perform
you ask me,
oral
can you sit on it?
services.
Oh my,
I'm gonna
here
tell
we
you
go.
no. I'm gonna push you down on your stomach, and I'm gonna make it seem like I meant yes. Don't ask me, can you? If you think about sitting on it, then sit
do
on it.
See?
Oh my
And
god.
that's because that's your thing. That's your thing.
Touch me, taste
Do
me.
you prefer to have people switch it up sometimes, Oz?
After all that, would you be surprised if I said no?
No. No.
Bitch, what is you doing right now?
Then you're like, okay.
I don't know. I don't think switch it up's the right way to describe it. I do like a person who I think initiating, everybody has their own way of saying different terms. I think my way of saying is just initiate. Because I think, like y'all were saying earlier, some people are like, if you get me started, all right, bitch, I'm gonna take control again. And I think that's me, even if I tell you to take over. So I don't mind if you walk in and be like, yeah, like come just put it in my face while I'm on the game. I'm like, ooh, shit, y'all, my server just failed. I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Do that.
I want you
Do
to
that.
continue playing your game.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Well,
fuck these niggas. No,
Yeah.
I get the attraction in that, but I'm a very come on, man. Y'all gonna make me say bad things. Y'all know how I feel about niggas who say they dominant. I'm a very rah ass nigga. Ain't gonna be nah, daddy, just stay on the game, bitch. No, fuck this game. I'm about to tear this shit up. Fuck this game. What I plan on doing, I can't have two hands on no controller. Where I'm about to put my hands up under these cheeks. Fuck
But
you
if
mean?
you say you want to relinquish control for a little bit, maybe that's part of the relinquishment. What if she's like, keep playing the game?
I
I
put it
think
to you
that
like
would be a
this.
nice game,
I am
like a fun
I
game.
am nice enough that if I say I want to relinquish control, I purposely am okay with doing things that makes it possible. Like y'all were having a conversation once, you and Mike, and y'all asked the man how you feel about being handcuffed. A lot of dudes like, nah, don't handcuff me. Fuck that, handcuff me, bitch. Because if I can't get free, bitch, I will get free. And I don't want to be free, so you better make it impossible, bitch. Okay? That's real nigga shit. Bitch, if I say I want to relinquish control, we're gonna have to do something to make sure it happens. Because if you think you just gonna be able to wrestle me, you got another thing coming, bitch. You're gonna have to. What's the movie where he was like, I can break these cuffs? That's me.
What movie is that?
I can break these cuffs. Yeah, but you might want to. Don't be like, oh, I'm gonna tie you with some. Don't tie me with nothing that can be broken or torn, bitches. That's a bad idea. It's not gonna work.
Oh my gosh.
Keep playing the game, or you think I can tell me to just stay focused and not touch you? You think I'm strong enough to beat me, bitch? If you get me started and I say, don't touch her, Oz gonna be like, boy, if you don't shut the fuck up, grab her, get her.
What's wrong with you?
Get the zip ties. Get the zip ties. Get the zip ties.
Not the zip ties.
Ooh.
Get them.
Don't threaten her with a good time.
I've had zip ties before.
The big black ones.
I'd be afraid zip ties might cut into my skin.
It could, yes. Just don't move.
Ooh,
it also depends on how tight they are. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And which way you do it. Like if you're doing it like this, yes. If you're doing it like this, not so much.
I feel like saying don't move is such an unrealistic ask. You don't want me to move?
Which is, but that's the reason for ropes and things. That's the reason for ropes and cuffs. Because, it is an unrealistic thing to say don't move. But, bitch, I said don't fucking move. So, since I know you're going to try, we're going to have to tie some things down to some things. Because I got a feeling like you just going to keep moving.
I'm a squirmer.
For your own good, don't move.
Bella.
Like, if I say don't move and you don't listen.
If you zip tie me, I'm getting cut up.
Well, then we won't zip tie you. Your little old gentle ass wrist, you just gonna get some two fucking neckties. What is this, velvet?
That's funny.
Soft wrist motherfucker.
Okay, relax.
I'm a hood nigga. You gonna have some Jordan shoelaces around your leg.
No.
Bitch, go, you going nowhere.
Shoelaces.
That's the Jordan laces.
With the little gold tips on it, so you know it's real. Dress it up and make it real for me.
Wait, side note, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Have y'all seen like the charms, not the charms, but like the charms that go on your laces for Jordans for women?
No.
I might get some. I don't know.
About to die.
I'm sorry. Okay, forget that. I go off topic. I want to thank you both for coming and keeping me company. I appreciate y'all.
Probably Roblin.
It was a lot of fun.
No,
Just so before we go, I'm gonna make sure that we all know anyone who comes back and watches knows where to follow everybody. If you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on all platforms at Just Basically, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, even though I'm never on Facebook. If you want to follow me at Just Basically. Ozzy.
Beat the boy.
Where else they can follow you other than TikTok? On TikTok, they can follow you at Body by Ozzy. What about on Snap?
The old Oz is my Snap. Body by Ozzy. Body _by _Ozzy is my IG. Fuckery, fun, fitness in all spots. But if you come to my Snap, be very prepared.
Oh Lord.
You get 1 week where I ask you if you want to be on the private story, and then the next story you want it. You know what I'm saying?
What? You only get 1 week to make a choice?
Whole lot of gang shit. No, not like you're automatically added, but I do ask kind of often, like, is there anybody that needs to be added? Is there anybody that would like to be released from the dungeon? And people normally say, you better not fucking take me off the story. I'm like, all right, you were safe. I wasn't gonna bother you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay, got it.
To the party.
Noted. Everyone make sure that you keep that in mind when you follow us, okay? Bella, we got your TikTok handle here. Where else can we follow you?
There's my TikTok handle. You can follow me on IG too. It's the same handle. I'm gonna keep my Snap to select few.
Understood.
Wet chocolate storm 35.
How could you expose me?
Oh my gosh.
No.
Well, I want to thank you guys. Just so you all know, we will not be live with We Got Questions next weekend because
why?
We'll be on a boat.
Yeah.
We'll be on a boat, so we will not be live next weekend. Unless
I'm sorry.
Mike's busy also, so he won't be available. I won't be available. So next week's show will not be happening. We will catch you guys the following weekend, which will be, what is that? The 16th, 15th.
I'm picking up the vibes. Okay, so you were solo this week, Mike solo next week. We're gonna find a way.
No, Mike isn't solo next week. There's no show next week at all.
Oh,
No show.
that's gay.
But we will come back
Make it
together.
super spicy next week.
Whoa, no.
Damn.
We're going to come back. The next show is going to be Mike and I together, One Big Happy Family on the 15th. So join us back July 15th. One Big Happy Family. Me and Mike. We're coming back.
The rule is back.
And so thank you for you guys popping in and talking to me, keeping me company.
Of course. It's been a pleasure.
I appreciate y'all. And you're about to go live right now?
After I find some alcohol.
I'm about to go. That's what I was about to say. I'm about to get some alcohol and then I'll come back.
Well, I guess I will see you guys on the TikTok.
See you later.
Guess I'll see you on your little book face.
Oh my, okay, not the book face.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.